Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan, the news read by Taranum Salman. The headlines. The Prime Minister, addressing a public gathering in Kotki, Sindh today, reaffirmed the government's resolve to recover the looted national wealth from the corrupt elements at all costs. Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced a package of 162 billion rupees for 18 development projects in Karachi to improve civic facilities in the area. Minister of State for Interior says peace has been restored in the country with unprecedented sacrifices, and now the international community values our stance. Lights of the Parliament building will be switched off between 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. tonight to show commitment for combating global warming. A Chinese plane load with 65 tons of medical supplies has landed in Venezuela's capital, Caracas. And Australia has decided to promulgate a new tougher law to regulate social media checking publishing of violent content. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has reiterated his government's resolve not to forgive the leadership of Pakistan Muslim League N and Pakistan People's Party unless they pay back the looted public money. Addressing a public gathering in the industrial city of Sindh, Kotki today, he challenged the opposition to do whatever they want to do, but this nation will not pardon you. Referring to the train march by the PPP chairman Bilawal Bhutto, Prime Minister said the PTI had staged sit-in to demand fair elections, not to conceal its corruption. The Prime Minister said whenever the government launched accountability, the opposition started propaganda of threat to democracy. It was not democracy but corruption under threat. The Prime Minister said Pakistan once had been the fastest growing nation in Asia, and even South Korea had adopted Pakistan's development model, but now Pakistan was under record burden of debt. The country had to pay 6 billion rupees a day as markup of the loans. Prime Minister Imran Khan has unveiled a package of 162 billion rupees for 18 development projects in Karachi. Addressing a meeting of Karachi Transformation Committee in Sindh Metropolis today, he said of these, 10 projects relate to transport sector, 7 to water and sewerage, and 1 to water conservation. The Prime Minister lamented that in the past no attempt was made to raise awareness among the masses regarding the conservation of water, as it is a scarce commodity. He said a drive will be started to emphasize the importance of saving water for use of future generations. Imran Khan said Pakistan cannot move forward unless Karachi is developed and a solid planning is required for the city's progress. He said master plan of Karachi will be developed in order to check the rampant growth of the city in all directions. He said unless cities are organized, the residents cannot enjoy basic facilities. Prime Minister Imran Khan inaugurated Bagh Ibn Qasim in Karachi today. Speaking on the occasion, he said the government wants to provide more green spaces to future generations of the country. He said Karachi was full of open and green spaces in the past, but unfortunately these were occupied by land grabbers. The Prime Minister said that a number of parks and green areas in Karachi have decreased. He said Pakistan falls at 8th number in top 10 countries most affected by global warming. He said our future generations will not forgive us if we do not take steps now for improving the environment. The Prime Minister said it has been decided to encourage more vertical buildings in the country to save the green areas. Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Chaudhry Fawad Hussain, has suggested to Nawaz Sharif that plea bargain was the easy way out and he should return the wealth of the nation. In a tweet, he said this was the 4th day after release of Nawaz Sharif, but he was still not admitted to the hospital. Fawad Hussain said nation gave Nawaz Sharif respect 3 times and now he should return its money. Minister of State for Interior Shahryar Afridi says peace has been restored in Karachi and no one can disrupt it again. Addressing the 26th passing out parade of the Sindh Rangers in Karachi today, he said Rangers have played a key role in restoring peace to the city and the rest of Sindh. Shehryar Afridi said Sindh Rangers' contribution has also been very commendable in holding off some recent international events, including PSL matches in the city. Shehryar Afridi said our continuous efforts and sacrifices of our law enforcement agencies for peace have brought us to the point where the world now considers and values our stance. The first meeting of China-Pakistan Forestry Working Group was held in Beijing to identify priority areas for cooperation in forestry between the two countries. The meeting was attended by officials of China's National Forestry and Grassland Bureau, International Cooperation Department, and Pakistan's Climate Change Department. The two sides discussed prospects for cooperation in wetland restoration, desertification control, wildlife protection, and other relevant issues. This is Radio Pakistan. Earth Hour is being commemorated across the world today to show support for the strategies that help to resolve the problems of global warming. Earth Hour was famously started as a lights off event in Sydney, Australia in 2007. Speaker National Assembly Asad Kaisar, in his message on the day, said that the world is experiencing diverse impacts of climate change more than ever, and it is important to empower the people to become part of climate change initiatives. Endorsing the Earth Hour, the Speaker highlighted that the lights of the Parliament will be switched off between 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. today to show Parliament's commitment of joining hands with the world for energy conservation, combating of climate change, and global warming. The Petroleum Division has categorically said that the prices of natural gas and regasified natural gas, RLNG, are not being increased, saying that the media reports in this regard have no reality. Rejecting the media reports, sources at the Power Division clarified that the gas company has not incurred any loss in respect of sale of RLNG to domestic consumers during the winter season. President Azad Jammu and Kashmir Sardar Masood Khan has urged the Kashmiri youth to remain clear about their objective, which is the right to self-determination. Addressing all Azad Jammu and Kashmir Inter-Universities speech competition at Jammu and Kashmir Cell in Islamabad today, he said Indian armed forces have committed countless crimes against humanity in occupied Kashmir since the last 72 years. The president said use of brutal force against unarmed civilians is shameful for India. International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies will distribute aid among estimated 650,000 people in Venezuela. Speaking at a news conference in Caracas, the Federation's president, Francisco Roca, said distribution of the assistance is likely to be started in 15 days. And meanwhile, a Chinese plane loaded with 65 tons of medical supplies has landed in Venezuela's capital, Caracas. President Nicolas Maduro welcomed the arrival of the humanitarian aid on Twitter. The Australian government has decided to promulgate a new tougher law to regulate social media, proposing strict punishment for the social media executives for publishing violent content. According to the new law, social media executives could be awarded up to 3 years imprisonment and their firms be fined 10% of their turnover if they fail to quickly remove violent material from their platforms. The Israeli authorities have banned Palestinian Muslim prison inmates from performing Friday prayers. In a statement, the Palestinian Prisoners Association said the Israeli prison service had informed the Palestinian detainees in all Israeli detention facilities that they are no longer permitted to perform Friday prayers. And in Afghanistan, 17 people were killed due to flash floods in the western parts of the country. The fifth and final one-day international of the 5-match series between Pakistan and Australia will be played at Dubai tomorrow. The match will start at 4 p.m. Australia are leading the 5-match series by 4-0. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain and thunderstorm with gusty winds is expected at isolated places in Malakand, Hazara divisions, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.